It's just gone lunchtime. This is All Angles here on eNCA. Good afternoon. I'm Masego Ratlaga. We've reached that time of the day when we give you an update on how far some of the stories we've been following for you on channel today have advanced. This is your lunchtime update. Our reporters are out and about bringing you the latest on today's top stories. I'm joined by Bafedile Moerane in Springs. Aisha Ismail is out in Cape Town for us, and Ronald Masinda is in East London. All right, let's start with Bafedile, who has been covering the protest by workers at Gold One mine in Springs. It was chaotic, Bafedile, a little earlier on, with police using tear gas and rubber bullets to disperse the protesting members of eNCA. It's since calmed down since mid-morning, but the issues still persist. So what's the way forward?
Masego, we're still waiting to hear from all the stakeholders that are involved in this matter, in particular the mine management, which we understand at this point is an engagement with a National Union of Mine Workers as the majority union, or the union that is recognized at this stage in the mine. So what the mine management is saying is that they want to engage the National Union of Mine Workers in a sense that they do reach an amicable solution before the court sitting that is expected on Thursday. We understand that eNCA took NUM to court in a sense that they want the court to instruct the NUM and the mine management to set a date for the ballot. We know that at the heart of it all, the workers want NUM to be recognized, actually eNCA to be recognized as their representative, as they are saying that NUM has failed them on numerous occasions. It is failing to advance their needs, the needs that speaks to the salaries, the needs that speaks to the work conditions, among others. So at this point in time, the police remain on the ground to monitor the situation after dispersing an angry crowd of workers that we understand it has since converged outside the mine premises yesterday night. So far, one car has been set alight. 11 people, according to the police confirmation, have been arrested, but which means that earlier on, as we saw, confrontation between the workers and the police ensuing, more people have been arrested, which means that the numbers have gone up at this point in time. So the mine management last week on Thursday or Wednesday, they had told the workers that operations are being suspended until today, Monday, until they reach solutions and find a better way forward, and also to ensure that the mine premises is safe for the workers to come to work. But now, unfortunately, Masego, the situation unfolded as it is in the morning, having to see those confrontations. Let us listen to the head of legal of Gold One Mine as to what he said to us.
We absolutely are concerned about the safety of the workers. That's our main concern. That's why we've ordered everybody to stay at home today, except those essential to keep the mine running on care and maintenance. We are absolutely concerned that this does not escalate into a Marikana type situation, and that's why we urge restraint, particularly from eNCA, because these are now eNCA members protesting outside, picketing outside. They've been doing so for the past week. They brought an application to court, and we are abiding by their timelines. We are not obstructing the holding of a ballot whatsoever, and so we find it confusing that they persist with this behavior.
All right, so let's go to Cape Town now. Aisha, you attended a briefing by the National Commissioner of Correctional Services on the diphtheria outbreak at Pmore prison. Last week already, one inmate had succumbed, but others, including Correctional Services employees, needed to be tested. So what was the update from officials today?
So, Masego, the latest is that there are 8 inmates who tested positive. They've been isolated. The Correctional Services officials say that they've managed to prevent and to contain the spread of diphtheria at Pmore prison. They're saying that they've put the 8 inmates in isolation, and they're saying that some of the measures that they've put in place include isolating the inmates, as well as increasing hygiene practices. And also what they've done is to vaccinate hundreds of inmates who have not been vaccinated. They've also vaccinated some of their officials who have not been vaccinated against diphtheria. This is what the National Correctional Services Commissioner had to say earlier during his briefing.
I must emphasize that the situation is calm and under control. I have visited the inmates that are in isolation. I visited the center where the first case was identified. I've also interacted with the management of the area and also the correctional facility. So far, there are no new cases that have been reported in the past 5 days. Hence, we do believe that the measures that we have put in place are effective and are ensuring that the well-being of all those who are around the setting of Pmore is taken care of. But just allow me to reiterate that diphtheria is a vaccine-preventable disease. And through comprehensive measures that we have put in place, we aim to minimize the risk of transmission at the Pmore Correctional Facility.
Right now, Ronald, we've been covering or focusing on road infrastructure countrywide. The financial impact on the country is being felt as structures continue to crumble. You're looking at it in the Eastern Cape, and we've covered the roads there quite extensively, even alluding to the fact that the Eastern Cape has most of South Africa's stalwarts, but yet that particular province is always forgotten when it comes to services. So tell us a bit more about the roads. Have they improved?
Well, the situation is really bad here in the Eastern Cape. Take, for example, what the Metro's mayor had to say when she began her term. She said that in her first year, she promises to fix at least 20,000 potholes. And I can tell you she has a long way to go in achieving that target. Because take, for example, Gunubi, a popular suburb here in East London. And we were hearing from one motorist who was telling us that this year alone she has replaced her tires on 7 occasions, and she drives a 4x4. We also spoke to a ward councillor in Gunubi, and she was telling us that they've recorded 2,873 potholes, and that 12,000 ratepayers in the area are up in arms because they feel that the Buffalo City Metropolitan Municipality is not doing enough with their money to fix the potholes. We also went to Mtantsane, and there was a situation where community members are taking matters into their own hands. A group of young men are trying to make a quick buck by trying to repair some of the roads in Mtantsane, and they are appreciated by several motorists that we spoke to. But we also know of a number of areas where ratepayers or ratepayers associations have teamed up to fix their own roads. And the situation is described in this next soundbite by Unati Pmore, who is the Department of Transport spokesperson, and this is what he had to say.
Yeah, indeed, when it comes to potholes, they are a problem, not just on provincial roads, but also on those roads that are in inner cities, roads that belong to municipalities. We do have a problem there. And we wish not to make any bones about it, particularly to the public, and say this road belongs to whoever, because all they know is that it's one government, and we are working very, very closely with our municipalities as the province to deal with the problem of potholes and the issue of reseal. If you go towards to the road R67 between Makanda and Port Alfred, it is a good example of the work that we have done to deal with the issue of potholes, not just in pothole patching, but in doing a complete reseal. And I challenge you to also pay a visit to that stretch of the road to see some of the work that we're doing. But when it comes to the issue of backlog, there is a huge backlog, not just on urban roads, but also on rural roads.
All right, that was your eNCA lunchtime update from all angles with reporters Ronald Masinda, Aisha Ishmael and Bafedile Moirani. Thank you, team. Let's leave it there for now.